First of all, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's our first ever ProVeg UK School Plates Plant-Based Cooking in Schools online workshop. And we're delivering this today because we keep being asked by schools if we can help with some training and inspiration about plant-based food. So we hope this will be the first of many. We are recording this webinar, so it will be shared with you after the session, and you'll be able to see all the slides as part of that. If you have any questions, please pop them in the Q&A section, and we'll either take them as we go if they're appropriate, or we'll leave them to the end. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of time at the end to take questions. So do just keep adding those in. And I'm going to just kick off and tell you a little bit like a lightning fast kind of introduction to ProVeg School Plates and what we're going to be doing today. And then I'll hand over to Lisa, who will be cooking all the lovely recipes with you today. So yeah, I'm Colette Fox. I'm the Programme Manager of School Plates, and I'll just tell you a little bit about everything. 1 second. So ProVeg, our mission is reducing the global consumption of animals by 50% by 2040. And we are one of 9 country teams across 4 continents. And we're all kind of trying to deliver this objective of reducing animal consumption. And in the UK, we do this through our School Plates programme. So essentially the aims of this are trying to help school meals become both healthier and more sustainable. And the kind of added byproduct of this is that it also saves money. And we kind of do this by increasing the quality and the quantity of plant-based food on school menus. So it's pretty simple. I'm going to just tell you why we're doing this. So I've touched upon it already, but essentially it's for the planet and for our for children's health. So I won't go through all these stats. There's a lot there. But essentially, we're all the kind of independent experts are telling us that we need to reduce meat and dairy consumption. They're all pretty similar stats, but essentially we take all of our, everything we do from evidence and from the Climate Change Committee and the National Food Strategy recommendations. So we need to shift away our diets as a nation and also increase the amount of fruit and veg and fibre that we're consuming. And then looking at children's health, we know that childhood obesity is a massive global health concern. Almost 10% of children starting school in England are now obese. And by the time they reach age 10, over a third of them are either overweight or obese. We also know that we see a lot of processed meat on school menus, which is carcinogenic. It's actually in the same category as tobacco. So all your sausages and pepperonis, all those kinds of things. We also know that plant-based foods are brilliant for your health. They're packed with nutrients and fibre, and they lower the risk of chronic disease. And this is just a little screenshot from one of our free resources, which we'll come on to, but we just wanted to show you the comparison between a typical school spaghetti bolognese made with beef versus one where we've switched out the beef mince and we've replaced it with 50% lentils and 50% soya mince. So you can instantly see the difference. The plant-based version is almost a third cheaper. It's nearly 90% lower in saturated fat. It has double the amount of fibre, which is hugely important, and less than a third of the emissions. So it's kind of hopefully a win-win-win on all of those factors. And we've also looked at the protein. So again, you can see the protein levels are almost identical, and we're very conscious of the nutritional kind of quality of all of our recipes. So they're all nutritionally balanced, and they're in line with the school food standards or the various nutrition guidelines in each country. And then just very quickly how we do this. I've mentioned we have some free resources. So if you go on our website, which will give you the link at the end, you can download both of these. The first one is simply a guide to the programme and how you as a school can make these changes. So it's a bit of a DIY guide. And then we've also created 35 plant-based recipes specifically for schools, and these are they are aimed at primary school children, but we know that we've got secondary schools also eating these recipes. You just need to sort of scale up the quantities. So those are free to download, and Lisa's going to be cooking 5 of the recipes from the 35 today for you. And just a little bit about the support that we offer. Apart from the resources, we look at menu review. So we help with nudging behaviours through changes to language on menus, where dishes are positioned, and providing meaningful choice. We help with Save the Planet days. So these are kind of more positive, climate friendly, raising awareness of the impact that food has on the environment. And we can help with materials for those if you want to switch from having a meat-free day to something more positive like a Save the Planet day. We also look at plant-based recipe development, which Lisa works on. We will be hosting more of these online workshops specifically for anyone in an individual school. And if you're from a multi-academy trust or a local authority, we actually offer in-person workshops. So where the impact is sort of greater for us to come and we're dealing with bigger numbers. And finally, an accreditation scheme. So we'll be able to kind of score where you are in the process and give you points, which give you a kind of award that you can have on your menus. And that's coming very soon. So far, we have been responsible for swapping over 5 million, at least 5 million meals from meat-based to meat-free or plant-based. We're working with over 2,500 schools across the UK, which is close to 350,000 children eating from our menus. And this is just our contact details. If you have any questions that you don't get the chance to ask today, please do email us, schools@proveg.com, and have a look on our website where you can download the free resources. I will now hand over to Lisa, and she is going to be cooking for you 5 recipes from the brochure: Sri Lankan sweet potato and coconut curry, spicy Singapore noodles, crunchy minty green pea salad, homemade sweet crunchy slaw, and sticky chocolate brownie with banana and ice cream. I will stop sharing and hand over to Lisa. Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much, Colette, and thank you everyone for joining. We're so excited to share the recipes with you. And as Colette said, you can download the resources. So you can cook them yourselves, try them at home, try them with children if you have children. And so today is just about giving you an idea, a taster of the kind of recipes and the kind of training that we provide at ProVeg UK School Plates. So I've done a lot of the prep, and I've done a bit of the cooking in advance, just so that we can crack on and show you the finished dishes. In the future, depending on the feedback we get, we might just concentrate on one dish and show you completely from start to finish. There's lots of different things we're thinking about doing, so your feedback's really invaluable. We've got a fun little poll for you to join in or not joining throughout the demonstration, completely up to you. And then really importantly, we've got a survey at the end, which we'd absolutely love to get your feedback on, because it is our first one. So we want to know what you like and what you'd like to see more of, etc., etc. So first of all, I'm going to just quickly read you some of the ingredients of the Sri Lankan sweet potato coconut curry. It's a really quick and easy curry, packed with goodness. And just to tell you, it costs, when it's scaled for primary schools, it costs 49 pence per person, 6.9 grams of fibre, protein 6.7. It's low in sugar, low in fat, contains omega-3, calcium, iron, zinc, iodine, and it's a really low carbon emissions. But all that is well and good, but it tastes pretty good as well. So I've got some chopped onions, which I'm going to add in to my pan and give that a stir around. I'm just going to turn my pan up a little bit. So we want to soften the onions. Of course, I'm cooking to a much smaller scale, obviously, but it's really easy in our recipe brochure. You can scale up, scale down, depending on how many people you're cooking for. Oh, so we've got fresh, sorry about that, as my window closing. We've got fresh ginger and fresh garlic, which I've already chopped or minced. That's entirely up to you. And I'm going to pop that in as well. Scrape all of that out. So what we try to do, as well as obviously being nutritionally balanced and, you know, in line with the school food standards, is we want them to taste and look good, because we all eat with our eyes, and it's about trying new things introducing children to new flavours, textures, and also packing them with as many vitamins and minerals as we can. So plant-based cooking, if you're not used to it, is actually a really simple way of cooking. I understand if you've never kind of cooked plant-based food before, you might think, oh, easy for you to say. But actually, it's just the same as any other recipe. It just doesn't contain any animal product. So I personally find it so much easier and obviously cost-effective to have a plant-based diet. So I'm just going to sweat these off. And then I'll talk you through the other ingredients whilst that's cooking. So we've got curry powder here, and we've also got ground ginger. So a lot of store cupboard ingredients, which is super handy as well. So you won't have to have lots of storage facilities to cook these recipes. We've also got some coconut milk, which obviously makes it lovely and creamy and delicious and moreish. Vegetable stock. And we've got chickpeas as well. Chickpeas are brilliant for padding out recipes. Not only do they taste good and give it texture and flavour, they're also really good for you. Got a good source of protein. They're really cheap, economical to buy. You can store them easily. They go with so many different recipes. And yeah, I'm a big fan of chickpeas. So that's about done. I just want to cook off the garlic and ginger because there's nothing worse than I don't like raw garlic, so you just want to get that nice and cook through. I'm going to add a touch of sea salt. And then I'm going to add in my spices. So getting all that lovely flavour. And we found that this kind of dish is super popular in schools. The children absolutely love it. They're familiar with it. So you may or may not already have something similar on your menu, but we might not be plant-based, and with a few small tweaks, easily turned to a plant-based dish. Oh, I can feel that spice. So to that, I'm going to add a little bit of stock and give that a little stir. And that's going to reduce down a little bit as well. Now, ideally, you wouldn't do it in a shallow pan like this, but I wanted you to see inside my pan, because obviously there's no point in me cooking if you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to stir that round, get all those spices cooked and mixing together. Then I'm going to add in my chickpeas. And this, obviously this is specifically for primary school children, but this makes a lovely dinner. You don't have to be a primary school child to enjoy this. They're just really good recipes. And as Colette mentioned, free to download as well. So I'm just going to take that away for a second. Let that reduce down and start to thicken. And then we've got here sweet potato and green beans. So lovely chunks of beautiful sweet potatoes, so delicious. And then we've got the lovely crunchy green beans. And I have cooked them, but then I blanched them so in cold water, so they keep a little bit of crunch. And it's already looking really good. So I'm going to add in the rest of the veg. Just get rid of that. And then I'm going to mix that in gently and carefully because I already get it everywhere. And coconut milk I absolutely love. Who doesn't love creamy coconut goodness? So you can see it's really, really quick. I mean, yes, I did some prep. However, all that was cooking up the sweet potato and blanching the beans. So literally no time at all. A lovely quick dish, packed with goodness. So finally, I'm going to add in the lovely creamy coconut milk. Just pour all of that in. There you go. I don't want to overfill it. And then just going to turn up my hob, bring that to the boil, and then let that simmer down. And you could serve this with an array of, you could just have it on its own actually, but you could serve it with rice, quinoa, couscous, crushed down potatoes, that would work as well. Actually, you could have potatoes in it. So yeah, you could serve it however you like. And then you'd let that simmer, bring to the boil and simmer, you know, for about 10 minutes really. I won't do that today. I'm just going to serve it up because obviously time-wise, you don't want to stand and watch me simmer a dish for 10 minutes, or maybe you do, I don't know. If anyone has any questions, by the way, do put them in the chat, because I can't see them, but Colette will filter them through. So let me know what you think so far. Is this something you would make? Would you try this yourself? It'd be really interesting to know what you think. So I can see that's coming up to the boil now, and then I would just put the lid on, let it simmer for a bit, obviously bigger pots, and then get all those flavors marinating together and be absolutely delicious. And it just, I know you can't smell, but I promise you it smells amazing. So let me just serve a little bit up for you. Just going to turn down my pot. Actually, do this really carefully, obviously, because it's super hot. So you could have a bed of rice. You could just have some flatbreads to dip in. And we do lots of different sides. I'm going to show you a few sides today. We actually do have a lovely rice dish, a lemon rice dish. Just add a little bit more. That's bubbling away. And what will happen is the sweet potato sometimes can break down. Some of it breaks down depending on the size of the chunks. And that thickens the sauce as well. And it makes it just so umptious. So you've got like a creamy, thick sauce to go with it as well. But that happens, that takes a bit of time. So I'm just going to remove that for a second. Put that over here. And then it's going to pop another pan on to start heating. And with this dish, all I'm going to do is just a little bit of garnish. So beautiful, nice and fresh, creamy, delicious. I hope you can see that, and I hope you appreciate how quickly that was to make, and it just tastes really, really good. I know you have to take my word for it, but then you have to download the brochure and cook it for yourself. So whilst my oil is heating up, I want to talk through the second recipe I'm going to show you. So yeah, again, another simple recipe. And I'm just going to turn up my hob. Actually, no, my water's boiling. So I've got spicy Singapore noodles, And let's have a talk about the cost. So 65 pence per portion, we've scaled it at. Fibre 4.9, protein 10 grams. We get a lot of people asking about where to get your protein from. We found like for like is practically the same, so don't worry about that if you were concerned. And saturated fat 0.8, so really low in fat, low in carbon emissions as well. Some other facts for you: it's low in sugar, contains omega-3, calcium, iron, and zinc. So yeah, another lovely dish for you. So we're just going to heat the oil in the pan, and whilst that's heating, I'm going to put in my noodles. So I'm using whole wheat noodles. You can use rice noodles as well, obviously. So I'm just going to pop them in, and I'll keep an eye on them, and we'll serve up. I've got my serving dish here. I have to be very organised. So what we've got here, let me read you through the ingredients. So we've got chopped up leek. We've got chopped up spring onions. We've also got some lovely shredded cabbage, white and red. We've also got carrots, and we've got some pepper as well, some peppers as well. So again, just a rainbow of colours, punches, textures, really lovely. And the spices in this one, this particular dish, we've got some mild curry powder. We've got one of my favourites, which is Chinese 5-spice. And then we're going to add a little bit of soy sauce to that as well in a moment. So let's just get our leeks on, our leeks and onion. In that goes. Hear that lovely sizzle. So again, you know, just roughly chopped, finely chopped, but roughly chopped. So there's no kind of technical skill needed, as in, we know time is of the essence when you're cooking for a large amount of children, you don't want anything fiddly. You know, it's got to be something you can do every day, easy but with good results, and that the kids are going to eat, so there's no waste. Again, another really popular dish because it's noodles, and everyone loves, or the children love noodles. So I'm just going to do a little pinch of sea salt. And keep stirring that round. And what else I've got actually, I've talked to you about is I've got some meat replacement. So this is corn. So you can use any brand. You don't have to use corn. This is chicken pieces, which I think works really, really well. But obviously you don't. That's the brand I've used for today. And you can use the equivalent, whatever you use. So I think you've got one of the poll questions up. So it'd be interesting to see what you think about that. And I'm just going to check on my noodles. Give them a little, again, really quick, lovely and quick. Noodles take minutes, and they're just so, I always feel like it's a treat when I have noodles. So they literally take about 3 minutes. So loosen them up, lovely.
Lisa, the results of the poll were that 69% of people have used meat products, alternative meat products regularly, just so you know.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. I think we're all pretty much, if you eat meat or not, we all we like to try it anyway. And most of the people that I know that do eat meat don't eat it every day anyway. So that's why you try lots of other different things. So that's good to hear. So to my leeks and onions, I'm going to add in the cabbage, the red cabbage, the white cabbage, the peppers, and the carrot. Give that a stir around. So it's a really colourful dish, this is, which I love. Eat the rainbow. And stir that around, mixing all together. Again, my pan's quite shallow for mixing all this veg, but I'll manage somehow. And then I'm going to add in my corn, my chicken, my meat replacement, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to overfill my pan, so I'm not going to put it all in. Mix that round. It's already smelling good. Actually, might turn pop down a bit. Again, because they've been shredded, it doesn't take long to cook at all. And also you actually want a bit of crunch to it. You want that texture. You don't want everything to taste soft. So I'm going to add in my Chinese 5-spice and my curry powder. And to that, I'm going to add some soy sauce. And then a splash of water into where I have the soy. Not too much, because when I add the noodles, that will have a bit of liquid as well. So we're going to mix that round. And it smells fantastic. It smells really good. Hope you can see, just kind of mixing all those beautiful colours around together. Turn my hob back up. And then I'm going to check on the noodles. There we go. Right, so already that's looking lovely. Well, I think so anyway. And then let's have a look at the noodles. Turn off my oven. And I'm going to add the noodles straight in because I want a little bit of the liquid. To add add to the sauce. So yeah, obviously you can drain. I think that's what says in the recipe, but for now it's easy for me to scoop them in. And there you go. So a really economical dish, and you get a lot of bang for your buck as well, which is good, what we want. Okay, I feel like I'm having a sauna with that, holding that.
Can you just send those over to me, please, Lisa? Can you just send the noodles over to me so I can eat them?
I'll send them over to you.
Yeah, please, thank you.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I'll put them in the post to get them couriered to you. So I'm just going to mix them round. I know there's something about noodles. It's one of my favourite things. And get all the flavours mixed in with the noodles. I want every single strand coated. So every bite has got a different, it's got a bit of everything. Just turn off my hob. And there you go, super quick, super tasty, just lovely, crunchy, and then the soft noodles, and then the spices from the curry powder. Just gonna unplug my hob a second. And then I've got my serving plate here. Let me get rid of that. So would anyone make this, do you think? Is this something you would make? I mean, you can see how easy it is. Just absolutely delicious. Obviously, this is not just my portion. Seems to be getting everywhere. Just one more bit. More bits on top. And I'm actually going to put this over here because I don't want to overfill anything. And then again, I like to garnish some green. Just make it lovely and fresh and delicious. And there you have the Singapore noodles, spicy noodles, and they will be gorgeous. So if you just bear with me one moment, I'm just going to move the hob because it's quite hot, and my next dishes I don't need to heat. Oops. I'm just going to pop it under here. I do have a heat-proof mat under here. Okay, it won't be a second. Let me just make some room. And then we're going to move on to some of the sides that we've got to show you. So I love this side. Again, it's just really simple, but really tasty and super healthy. So I'll just read out some of the ingredients for you. Let me just grab it. I feel like my face has gone red because I was standing over the hob. So this is crunchy, minty green pea salad. And the ingredients are fine beans, peas, spring onions, baby spinach, or spinach is fine, and then some mint sauce. And then what I've already done, let me just give you the cost. So 31 pence per portion, fibre 3.7, protein 3.8, saturated fat 0.2, nothing. Low in fat, low in sugar, contains calcium, iron, zinc, and iodine. My door's banging, so apologies. A very low carbon emissions. So yeah, we take everything into consideration. Every recipe is really thought through. And we've got here green beans and peas and some lovely spinach, really healthy and delicious. And then we've got some mint sauce as well. So it's a plant-based mint sauce. I didn't make it, I have to admit, never mind. Can't do everything. So I'm going to put into my mixing bowl some of the pea. Actually, I think I'll get it all in. Why not? And again, this is a lovely light dish. Really easy to, I mean, it's just assembling basically, but you know, sometimes just having the idea is that, you know, you think, oh, actually, yeah, I haven't thought about just putting that combination together. Just ripping the spinach. You can obviously, I chopped it a little bit, but I'm going to rip it as well. It was sitting out for quite a while before we started, so I didn't want to chop it because sometimes it can wilt a bit. And I'm just going to mix that through. Just all those lovely greens. You just know it's good for you, but tastes good as well, especially in the warmer months. And then we're going to add in the mint sauce. And that works so well with the peas and the runner beans. And we're going to mix it through. So when we come to you, say you have, if you're one of our partners and you have a workshop, what we do is we come to you, and the workshop's around 4 hours, and we cook together. And then we sit and eat the food and we discuss it. And so if you haven't tried plant-based food before, or any of these particular dishes, then you get to try, you get to cook it, you get to see how we think is easy is to actually make. And it's just a really good way to kind of break down any kind of barriers that potentially there might be, any worries, concerns, you know, because obviously my world is filled with plant-based food, but not everybody's is. So it's really nice to meet people that don't have plant-based food every day, and it isn't the norm. So it's good to kind of share the recipes and for you to cook the recipes yourself. Anyway, so this is, again, just smells so good, that mint. And you can see it's all coated now. So I don't know if you can see, but it's all nice and glossy. And then I'm going to plate this up. I think I need a bigger spoon though. This is a really lovely side rather. There we go. All that colour and flavour, and again, texture.
You're doing brilliantly on time, by the way, Lisa.
Oh, have I just powered through?
No, you're good.
Oh,
no, it's all good.
I was worried, that's because I was thinking I wanted to show you as much as possible, but also obviously conscious we have less than an hour. So yes, all good. Maybe next time I can cook everything from scratch and not pre-cook anything, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to sprinkle on some spring onions and some parsley. And again, just lovely flavours. Because children, you know, they really enjoy these flavours and they appreciate eating it. And there you have a lovely fresh green salad, minty salad that you can have alongside your dishes. So let's show you those. Oh, making a bit of a noise. Your 3 dishes there. But I'm not finished yet. There's still more. So this one, this is such a gorgeous recipe, the coleslaw. So let me get it up actually. So
Can I ask you a quick question, Lisa?
Yeah, please.
We've got a question from Tracy Tross, who is asking, have the vegetables for the previous dish, been blanched or cooked before you use them?
Yes, they were. They absolutely were. The spinach, no. The spinach was raw. The peas I boiled and then blanched, put in cold water. And the green beans I did cook as well, but they've still got a crunch. So they're cooked. They're not raw, but they're not like soft either. So
Perfect.
Good question.
Perfect, thank you.
Because I think it's good to have a mixture of soft and crunch. So this is homemade sweet crunchy slaw, and it's a real winner in my house, let me tell you. So I'll show you what we've got because I've laid it up and we're going to mix it round. We've got red cabbage, white cabbage, and we've also got some carrot, there's some apple in there, and we're going to add some orange zest and orange juice, and then we're going to add some plant mayonnaise as well. So I'm just going to zest over the coleslaw. People tend to zest onto a plate then add it too, but what you want all the oils, so always zest over whatever I'm zesting onto. And they say just do it this way and collect it. I don't do that either. Rebel. I just think all the oils kind of come out, so you want them into the dish. So just, I can smell it already. So again, this is a really lovely, fresh. I think just looking at the recipes and the different colours makes them appealing, let alone the fact they're packed with flavour as well. And as Colette mentioned, you can download these our brochures and completely free. Okay, give a little tap, get it all out. No wasting, all that goodness. And then I'm going to slice my orange in half. And you would, use an orange squeeze. I'm just going to squeeze through my hands and catch any pips. And it's just so fresh and works so well. And these are really lovely and juicy, these oranges. I lucked out there. I'm just going to get every last bit of juice. Okay, just going to move this out of the way. Quickly wash my hands. And then we're going to add the mayo, vegan mayo, which I don't know if you've tried vegan mayo, but in a blind taste test, I really don't think you know the difference. It tastes, well, to me, it tastes exactly like traditional mayonnaise. I'm going to get that in and give that a really good mix round, because it's so creamy and it just makes it really just yummy. Give that a little mix. Try not to get it everywhere.
The results of the poll are that 100% of people would try it. That's the right attitude. We love that.
Honestly, you would. With the vegan mayo, is that?
Yeah, the vegan mayo.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, you really wouldn't know the difference. So, small things, an easy swap to do. Give that a mix. Woohoo! I should have got a bigger bowl. I like living on the edge. So mix that round. Just want to get all the colours combined. Just realised it's quite hard to do it holding it up. Then mix it round. I'm getting hungry just even making this. And then I'm going to just put a little bit into a bowl because it looks cleaner. I don't know why I've got rid of my spoon. Put that next to.
There's no bland jacket potatoes and baked beans here today, or colour.
Exactly. When I think about what I was served at school, like, I just can't even believe how good it is, how good it could be.
We did a workshop with some teenagers the other day, and they were just saying how the options at their schools just not appetizing looking, and they want things that look good and, like what they get when they go out. So hopefully this fits the bill.
So this is the slaw. So if I was served that at a restaurant, I certainly wouldn't send it back, that's for sure. Okay, I've saved the best till last. Well, I've got a sweet tooth, so that's why I said that. So I'm actually just going to talk you through, because I wasn't sure time-wise. I probably could have demoed it, but never mind. So let me we can do that in another demo. So I'm going to talk you through and show you our sticky chocolate brownie with banana and ice cream. So this brownie contains, amongst other things, beetroot and black beans. So I know that might be, for some people, quite like, what? But actually it works so well. And again, there's no way you bite into the brownie and think of black beans. I'm not sure if you've ever tried black beans, but they're traditionally you probably have them in like a Mexican refried beans or a Mexican dish. My ice cream's melted because I've had it out for a while. So but that's the nice cream. So the nice banana nice cream is literally banana whipped up and frozen. So I would say do it in a shallow tray because it freezes really simply, and that's it. But when you whip it up or mash it and kind of make it into it's soft, it really freezes brilliantly. It just works so well, and it's just banana, literally. So in the brownie, it costs 19 pence per portion, and fibre 2.7 and protein 3.8. It's very low carbon emissions, and you can, so it does contain flour, but you can use a gluten-free flour as well if you wanted to kind of have no allergens. And it's simple to make, and it really, a little goes a long way, the ingredients, and it bakes for around half an hour. Obviously, every oven's different, so my oven, it takes 30 minutes, just, and if you've got, that's a domestic oven. If you're using industrial, it'll probably take even less, and you might do them in bigger trays, you can scale it up. But it is gooey and sticky, and what the black beans do, I don't know if you can see, I just baked this, so it's super soft. I don't know if you can see like the inside of the black bean, but it kind of looks like walnuts, and it has the same texture. So it's really familiar when you're eating it. I mean, it tastes exactly like a brownie. It's really chocolatey, and but low amounts of sugar, like very little sugar, but super delicious. So yeah, maybe I will show you how to make that next time. But for now, I'll just go through what we cooked. We've got the Sri Lankan coconut curry with the lovely coconut milk. And then we've got the spicy Singapore noodles. Yum. And then we've got the minty greens. Homemade slaw with a vegan mayo. And then we've got the brownie with banana ice cream. Just 5 recipes out of 35 that we have created for you. And I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. If anyone has any questions, please do let us know, or put it in the chat. We also have a brief survey that will be really beneficial to hear your feedback and hear what you like or what you don't like, or what you'd like to see, etc. But does anyone have any questions, Colette, do you think?
We haven't got any questions at the moment. Has anybody got anything or any comments, and I can relay them to Lisa? Any questions? Any dishes you'd like to see next time? Don't be shy.
Yeah. Did I really speed through? Because it was hard for me to know what.
Not
this
too
is the recipe brochure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Could have showed you more. And then we've got other things that are really popular, like grab and go. So the sweet, crushed chickpea and sweet corn mayo wrap. So wraps are really, really popular. So, you know, you can just grab your wrap and off you go to have your lunch at the schools. Other desserts we have are, let me show you. We've got a chewy tropical flapjack, delicious. Creamy rice pudding with fresh berry jam. So all things you're very familiar with, nothing like that the children won't know what they are. Black currant poached pear with chocolate yogurt, very nice. One of my favourites, this is a crunchy crumble with summer fruits and raspberry ripple yogurt. And I make this regularly because I like it, basically, it's delicious. So yeah, so I hope you do download the recipe and the guide, and hopefully we'll get to work together one day. Maybe Colette and I will come and visit you wherever you're based and offer a workshop. We will be doing other online workshops. As I said, maybe we can go a bit more in depth to how we cook. I could just cook some more for you. There's lots of things we can do, and we're really excited to plan the next year or so with lots of events in our calendar. So do make sure you check back to our website, which is ProVeg UK, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, because we update it with all what's going on, and we have lots of different events. And we've
actually got a couple of questions, which is great. So We've got Tracy is asking how we work with school canteens, which I can maybe tell you a little bit. We both can. And do we do demos with children in food lessons? So just to answer your second question, Tracy, we don't currently do demos with children. Unfortunately, it's literally Lisa and I doing this. But maybe if that's something that people would like, maybe it's something we can evolve into at some point when we have more people in the team. So yeah, if you've got any feedback like this, please do pop it in the feedback survey at the end, because we'll be taking all this into account. And then just the first part of the question, how we work with school canteens. We tend to work mostly with either local authorities or multi-academy trusts, where they have lots of schools within their remit for lunches. So those are our kind of, when we talk about having over 30 partners that we work with, those are the kind of big local authorities. But as we're doing today, we're getting more and more requests from individual schools who perhaps do their own catering, and it's not run by the council and it's not run by a private caterer, and they just want to know how to do this. They've seen that we're doing these workshops in person, and that's kind of why we've set these up today. So if you are an individual school, we would just recommend download both of the brochures. The first one, you've got the recipes that you can see on the screen, and we've got another one which talks you through the whole program. But maybe if you want to know more about the program and the kind of practical side of how to implement it, we could do a session on that. So again, just let us know if that's something of interest, because I've literally skimmed through it today. But how we adjust menus, how we make tiny tweaks that nobody really notices, but actually get children choosing those dishes that you want them to have. So hope that answers your question, Tracy. And then maybe this one's for you, Lisa, which is from Tina Judge, and she's asking, have we got any tips on how to achieve a recipe in a 50-minute lesson? I think you've just shown you can achieve 5, but maybe not. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's planning. I think when maybe you're a home ec teacher, I think that's what you mean. I would say it's the prep that takes the longest time, but actually our recipes are designed so they are quick, because otherwise it just wouldn't work within a school setting. So what I would suggest is definitely download the recipe brochure, have a look through, and just practice a couple at home and see what you think and see how it would work within your class. But there's definitely 50 minutes, you could definitely get a lot done for sure. And because actually even the prep doesn't take that long really, because sweet potato doesn't take long to cook, greens don't take long to cook. The brownie obviously takes longer to bake. But what we do in a workshop, we put the brownie in first, and then we can move on to something else. And whilst that's baking, then you make something else. But things like noodles, because they're literally you cook and eat, which is why I like it. That's a good dish. So it's done straight away. But we do have other dishes that you can pre-cook and freeze, and then have at a later date as well, because you not necessarily want everything on that day, so you can freeze it as well. So I hope that helps.
Perfect, thank you. I'm just looking if we've got any more before we wrap up. We're a little bit early, but that's I'll switch my camera back on actually, if you can see me, or maybe you don't want to see me. Anyway, I'm back. Thank you, Lisa, that's amazing as always.
Oh, pleasure.
Thank you everybody for attending. We're absolutely thrilled that we had so many for our first session, and we'd love to see you back here. We are planning at the moment to run these at least once a month. So once we get everybody's feedback from today, that will kind of help shape what we do going forward. So if there are particular things you'd like us to focus on, we can do lots more recipes. We can do recipes in more depth if you want. We can talk about plant-based nutrition. We can talk about ingredients that you're struggling with, or how to use them, how to get flavor, anything you want to do. The best thing is probably have a look at the brochures that I think we've made it quite clear you can download for free from our website. Might give you some ideas of things you're more interested in sort of finding out a little bit more about, or we could even do a kind of Q&A session where you just, you know, come with your issues or any of your challenges, and we can answer questions. So we'll be very much guided with the future sessions on what you'd like to see. That's kind of how we work, and how we've got to where we are today is we're just sort of listening to what you need and responding. So I think we've got about 8 minutes left. If there's nothing else, nobody else has got any more questions, when you leave the webinar now, the survey will pop up. It's very short. Do please fill it out, and we will be in touch, and we'll email you around the recording. And yeah, follow us on social and sign up for our newsletter, and we'll be putting out our dates for the forthcoming sessions very soon. So thank you, and hope to see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.